Hey everyone, John Runner 88 here with another toy review. This time it is the Vintage Collection Carbonized Imperial Death Trooper. Was not a fan of the announcement for the carbonized figures for the Vintage Collection. For the Black Series, it was okay. It was around when they were like doing the launch for Rise of Skywalker, so they wanted to have a little more hype, I suppose, around that movie's release, or at least the toy release for Force Friday. Um, and they're bigger figures. They did like the box looked much like it was all like carbonized. It had like that kind of holographic look to it. Um, these ones, they're more miss than hits for me. I only picked up the Death Trooper. I don't have any um, Death Troopers from the previous waves. The one on the Rogue One card, um, and I've looked online. They're about like $20+ if you want to pick one up. So I've been passing on them for a while. Um, but these guys, I don't like that they're a little more expensive than a regular vintage figure. It's unwarranted if you ask me. Um, I I want to say they could have easily have cut costs. Like the card back, I'll show. I've got another one right here. First off, you can hardly see the Death Trooper. You have to like tilt him forward. It's a terrible image too. I know it's like from the show, but they had plenty of images. They have that one shot of like five Death Troopers like all lined up. Like you could have done that one and had one zoomed in right here. And then they've got this sticker here, which I know it's kind of like an homage to some packagings back in the day and whatnot, but it's not even printed on. It's an actual sticker, so this is just like they literally stuck this on after the fact to just take away from the whole card. I'm not an inbox collector, but I know some people, they probably either like it or they hate it, but it could have done easily without it. Um, but the card is nice and thick. I know a lot of people will like that if they're collectors, especially if they're getting them shipped. It's going to take a lot to really bend and crease these. But the card looks, I like the coloring on it, and it does have this kind of like cool edge to it, but again, I'm not an in-box person, so let's take it or leave it with me. And I leave it. But the troopers themselves, I really like them, and I think even if I had regular ones, I'd probably like these guys a lot more, just because they've just got like the other figures in the wave. I just don't like them. They're the Mandalorian. It's his like original armor before he gets the upgrade, so that doesn't need to be shiny because that armor wasn't shiny. So I don't like the look of his carbonized version. Cara Dune is the same deal. Like her armor wasn't super shiny; it had like a matte finish. And the Remnant Trooper, it's just like it doesn't look good. It's like it looks like somebody like painted on him with like the battle damage and like the dirtiness. But this guy looks great. I love him. He's got like, might not be able to see it too well. You can kind of see it a little bit. It's just like almost like a green tinted armor, and at just like first glance, it just looks black. He's got the like green visor and stuff. You can see right there. He's got the green little spots in the front. He just looks great, and he's got the all the articulation you're looking for. He's got this. They come with this blaster, which is really cool, and then they come with a pistol. If you can see it, no, maybe. Pretty sure it's the same one that comes with K2SO, or I'm sure it was repackaged with him. I just wish there was a little spot, like they get all these ammo pouches, but there's nowhere to put that pistol to like store it on him, which would be cool. Like we just had fives come out, and he had like a million spots on him to put his weapons and whatnot. But I do like this. There's just a little peg in there, and you can take this whole like apparatus off of him. Just make him kind of like a boring, not pauldronless Death Trooper, because they do have that variety show up. I think in Rebels they had like kind of more plain looking ones in a few scenes, if I'm remembering correctly. At least not as bedazzled as this guy. It would have been cool if these grenades like came out. I know that would have probably been like a headache for some people, especially people like me who take their figures out, but it would have been a nice little feature to have it, or maybe at least like one could pop out. These little grenades here. Yeah, looks awesome. With most of the troopers, when I got them out of the box, out of the bubble, it's kind of a... The knees are always the scariest part to start moving, because they got a little peg in there holding them in. I don't want to break that, but once I got it moving, they're moving. But yeah, they look awesome. This also. Can we stop doing this right here? This like you couldn't have done that like a darker color. We can't put it anywhere else. You can't like print it like inside his like cod piece right here or something. Like you can move his leg and see it. It has to be right here. It can't be like in his armpit or something. It's got to be right here. So, and it'd be nice if we could just like scratch it off, but it's on there pretty good. So I'll see what I can do about that, because that's like the only issue visually to this guy. Other than that, he looks fantastic. Both of them look fantastic. And I don't have a previous one to like show them off next to compare, but I do have the Shadow Trooper, which I'm sure is the same plastic they used for the other Death Trooper release, non-carbonized. You can see there's a little slight difference. My lighting is not the best, so can't see exactly. I mean, it's not even that different in person. I'm looking up at it, and it's just a nice little... Just a nice little tint of green to his armor. And it's just the armor, like his undersuit doesn't have that tint to it. And I like how they go through that. Like, they could have easily have just like sprayed paint all over the whole thing and made it all like one color. But they do have that. It's, you can't really tell, but there is a slight difference. Like, it doesn't have that shine to it like the armor. You can kind of see the shine right there pretty good. It's not even shine. I mean, it's got like kind of like little speckles inside the paint, but yeah, they look really good. And but it is a pain to find these. Walmart, I will come out and say it, like, it's cool that they get so many exclusives. That's awesome. But they suck at putting their products out, and they've always sucked at it. Like, I'm not... Everybody who collects Star Wars figures, they know this. Walmart just sucks at stocking their toys in general. Every toy hunt video I watch online, they go to Walmart and they're like, "Oh, there's nothing here." I yesterday went to, was it 5 different Walmarts? The first 4 were a bust. There's nothing there. And on their app, it said that there's like limited stock at like every location. And someone I follow on Instagram who is local, he posted that he found some like later in the afternoon, like right as I got home from one of the locations. It was like my 4th Walmart I went to. So I ran out to go to the one that he went to, and they only had Cara Dune left, and I was like, oh, perfect, lovely. Passed on her because I already got the regular vintage collection Cara Dune, and she's amazing, but I don't need a shiny version because I open them up anyway. So I worked this morning, and then after work I ran to the Walmart, which is basically right around the corner from where I work. And they had their shipper out and one car doing, because Walmart, they just drop their shippers out. And if you're a collector, you know, and you get there right when the shipper's out, cool, you can get all you want. But if you're not there when it's put down, chances are a scalper is going to be there before you. Because all they do is buy toys in bulk when they go to a store, and then they sell it online, and that's how they make their money. So they don't need to work in the morning. They can just go and buy figures and sell them to you at a jacked up price. I do not like this, especially with well, who would like that? But where I work, we are very aware of things when they're coming out, and we do our best to limit one item per customer. You know, first come, first serve. But we do not just sell like a whole case of something to a person when they come in. At least not when it's like release day. Like if it's like a week later and somebody comes in and wants and buys all of them, whatever. But yeah, so Walmart just puts these shippers down, and people are just, you know, probably buying tons of them just to sell them online, just because they're exclusives. They know they're going to be hard to find. But I lucked out. I went to a second Walmart after the first one, and it said online they had limited stock. I was like, okay. So I noticed that at the one I went to the night before, it updated on their app pretty quickly that they were sold out. And so I went to the other one today, the second location, and I was walking around, and they had it tied to an aisle, but there's nothing in the aisle. So it must have been a shipper that was being held in the back and wasn't put out yet. So I asked an employee if he knew anything about it. He was kind of clueless. I mean, it wasn't his department, or he probably wasn't too familiar with toys, but as he was helping me, he went and asked one of his coworkers, and he literally had the shipper about to put it out. So I lucked out completely and was able to score 2 of these Death Troopers right as the display went out. And that's it. I got 2 Death Troopers. That's all I wanted. Do not care about the rest of the wave. Do not collect 6-inch. So I got my 2 guys, and I left the rest there for probably a scalper to come along and buy all the rest of them. But it was weird because the shipper only had vintage collection figures. It had the dark sabers on the bottom like usual. It had the like mission fleet stuff on the top. It had the vintage collection carbonized figures on the second from the bottom shelf, and then the third shelf, which is supposed to have the Clone Wars Black Series figures, was just empty right out of the like fresh off the pallet, which was weird. I don't know what that was all about. If they maybe opened it a little bit and sold all those to somebody, or if they just shipped it without them because they didn't have enough for it. But yeah, I got my figures. They're awesome. If you can find them, pick them up, because they're honestly, it's cheaper than buying the regular ones online, and they do not look that much different. I think they honestly look better than just the stark black here. So yeah, the vintage collection carbonized Imperial Death Troopers. If you can find them, pick them up. If you can't find them, it's probably because the scalper bought them. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.